Hi, it has been a while. If you are an existing subscriber, welcome back. Long time no see. If you are new to me and this channel, I hope you stick around. This video is going to be more personal, but it also is going to set the groundwork for what to expect from me and this channel from here on out. So if you are new, I can only hope that you enjoy my vibe and are interested in what's to come. Before I continue, I am going to address my existing audience. First of all, I want to say thank you for your patience and also for supporting the channel. I understand that you guys expect certain content from me, and that is the reason as to why you are subscribed to me. Okay, slight change of scenery. I had to switch parks. My mindset has changed quite a lot in the past few months, and ultimately it is going to affect the fate of this channel, and it is going to affect how I approach content creation. So I wanted to make this video an update as to where this channel is going. Also give you a heads up as to where my mindset currently is, to give you a better understanding of what to expect. Because I am aware that my existing audience did expect certain content, so I didn't want to just go on my way without addressing that at the very least. By the way, if I keep looking down, it's because I have notes right in front of me. I had to write my thoughts down because I will forget and start rambling and lose sight of what I'm talking about. Okay, to still address my current audience, I know quite a lot of you have been expecting me to comment on pop culture, controversy, and very specific people. Recently, I've come to realize what kind of content I want to be putting my energy into. But if I'm being very honest, I don't want to create a space where I'm gonna have to be arguing all the time. When talking about certain people, certain topics, and just controversy in general, it can get draining mentally and emotionally very fast. It's very draining to address and try to argue with people who don't want to absorb information or just don't have the capacity to. But when it comes to certain topics, it's hard for me specifically to handle a huge lack of empathy. I also don't want to become a channel that constantly addresses controversy because it is a life suck. It is a constant cycle of negativity that I don't want to get sucked into nor prioritize. It is just not what I see myself doing, if I'm being entirely honest. Now, that doesn't mean that I wouldn't exactly dabble in that. I just can't exactly say for sure, so I just want to dispel that expectation. I promise I'll come back to this conversation and we'll talk about the more practical updates regarding me and my channel. I want to take the time to express to you where my mindset is at because it will have an effect on what I do right now and in the future. At this moment in time, I am experiencing the death moment of my life. Of course, in regards to my personal life and my identity, I am no stranger to ending cycles and restarting them. For example, like yearly restarts. And I did that whenever it felt right. So I am not new to that. What I am new to is releasing my fears of the process that will get me to my destiny. The fear of unpredictability, that not everything is going to go the way I perfectly planned. And also, in order to go where I need to be, I need to release my fear of making others uncomfortable. What I have come to understand is that the process is not going to be perfect nor exactly how I planned, and I have to be okay with that. I have always been a perfectionist, and I guess that has a lot to do with my upbringing. Growing up, I experienced a lot of high expectations being placed on me, so it was devastating when I couldn't reach them, thus creating my perfectionism streak. I envision things going a certain way, and if it doesn't go as perfect to plan, then I register that as I have failed. I am bringing this up because it was something that really did play a role as to why I wasn't creating content. Because I just wanted things to go perfect and exactly how I thought they would, which in general has really affected my creativity for years. And this is something that I am killing off before it kills me. So back to what I was saying about fear of making others uncomfortable. Of course, I don't mean in a sense of intending to make others uncomfortable or harming them. What I mean is that there were people in my personal life that had a very specific perception and expectation as to who I was and how I'm supposed to behave. So basically, their expectations of me were the person they were accustomed to, and the making them uncomfortable part is when you start breaking out of their made up box and starting to act out of the character that they applied to you. During this major breakthrough in my life, I realize now that I tolerated a lot of disrespect and held myself back from questioning people's intentions out of the fear of making them uncomfortable. But also, I had a little fear of being seen as dramatic or looking to cause trouble. In addition, a few of the people I had this fear with vocalized to me how hard it was for them to make friends, or I witnessed their defensiveness when it came to being confronted about their actions or intentions. So I definitely think that there was also a fear of potentially contributing to their harm, when the cold hard truth of it is, I am not responsible for your imposed expectations, nor am I obligated to fulfill them. So during this time, I have been questioning people's intentions and observing their reactions to me imposing my boundaries. And I also have become aware of people projecting their insecurities on me. From this point on, you cannot project an insecurity on me and get away with it. We are adults now, and what we say and do is intentional. I am not going to stay the person that had no boundaries. I am no longer going to be the person that sought to please in fear of retaliation or making others uncomfortable. I am going to change and evolve outside of your expectation. And if you cannot meet me where I'm going, then our paths are going to have to diverge. There is one thing no one can control nor prevent, and that is death. Death is unpredictable, and when we are on the course of dying, there is nothing that we can do to stop it. I feel like a lot of people wouldn't dare say this, but the death card in the major arcana of tarot is a special and meaningful card to me, and I'm actually always happy to see it in a spread meant for me. People have an uncomfortable or terrified reaction when they see the death card because of the reasons I explained prior. Also, to them, it can mean literal death. Death is the card of ending cycle. It is the card of transition and change. You must allow what was in the past to die in order to live your new life. Change is another scary concept to a lot of people. Change is walking uncharted territory. Change is unpredictable, so it threatens our sense of control, whether that is regarding control of our own lives or even the lives of others. So change carries a lot of the same reasoning as to why we fear death. It is probably the closest thing to death, and this is why people will stay in situations and mindsets they've grown accustomed to, even if it's not good for them. Because in these situations, they have a sense of control because these situations are predictable. I can't imagine anything outside of that. Okay, I'm sorry, I keep moving everywhere because the sun is setting, and I don't want it directly in my face. What we learn from the death card is that ending cycles is for the betterment of ourselves. Death is freedom from stagnant cycles that don't serve you. I will be free and constantly dying before I ever accommodate people's fear of change again. That is something that is also going to die with the life I'm leaving. I have always been a multifaceted individual. I was always trying something new. I have many different abilities and skills under my belt. I was always transforming, and I was never in one place. A little fact for anyone who is new to my channel and still watching, I'm a Pisces. Pisces, last sign of the zodiac. If you're also a Pisces, go holler in the comments. We are literally the end of a cycle. Our wisdom is flowing with the stream, with the current, and not against it. Another thing about me that draws me to the concept of death and rebirth and constantly revitalizing myself is that I have a strong first house placement. Pluto, the planet of transformation and death and rebirth cycle. The more you rebuild, the more true to your identity that you become. And that transformative energy is resting in my house of the self and of identity. So this death was coming sooner or later. So I am ready to end this cycle in order to experience the future life that is waiting for me. So let's get back into it. What does all of this have to do with my content and my creation? This is going to change the direction, not just in where my channel is going, also just the way I present myself in general. I think I have figured out what I want to do. My approach to content and creation is changing, and I've figured out what kind of creator I want to be. So to give some context, I have plans to go back to school. I have a full understanding of what I want to go back to study for and what I would want to do as a professional. I plan to go back to study anthropology. I have had this interest for quite a few years now. Originally, I was an art major, and then I dropped out. And it's not because I don't think there's a career in it. It's more so that I really don't need a degree to be an artist, and I shouldn't waste my money on a degree that I'm not exactly going to utilize. And regardless of that, I have always been someone who was interested in human culture and how society has developed and includes art. So I am not exactly missing out on anything. Okay, so what does that have to do with my channel? When it comes to content creation regarding themes like commentary, I want to bring an anthropological approach to pop culture and relevant topics, which is a very niche approach, which is why I feel called to do that. And other things include more mystical and unknown history. Of course, there will be videos inspired by my own spiritual mindset and practices, but also I think it's finally time for me to make art and not be afraid of the process anymore. Plus some vlogs here and there, as always. The most I want to do is inspire people to be themselves and to also get excited about human culture and always approach the world with curiosity. I am a lover of useless information because that information is only useless until there comes the moment where you can spark a very interesting conversation. And that is what I see myself doing. Okay, so this is where I'm gonna have to end this video. To my existing audience, I hope this video gave you a better understanding of what I want to do. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them down in the comments. Whether you stay or you leave, I still want to thank you for your support. I am very grateful for it. To anyone new who still happens to be watching the video up to this point, I could only hope that I set a good impression and that this video was enough to keep you interested in what's to come. I hope that you got something insightful out of this, even related to it. I can't wait to talk to you again soon. Bye!